Hey everyone, what is going on? What is going on? Welcome to That Man Show. My name is Curtis Brooks. I am your host, men's life coach specializing in transformational leadership for men. Guys, we got yet another wonderful show for you. We got a special guest, yippee, yay, yahoo, and all that good stuff. I'm excited. We got a great conversation before you, so let me do just a little bit of maintenance here and make sure that everything is coming across as it should. So that being said, guys, we got a great show for you. We're streaming on multiple platforms. We are on Facebook. That is going to be my my personal page on Facebook. So if you can't find me on Facebook under Curtis Brooks, you can absolutely find me over on YouTube at Men's Life Coaching over on YouTube. Again, that's at Men's Life Coaching over on YouTube. And obviously on LinkedIn, this is kind of our primary stomping ground here over on LinkedIn. So we typically will share the stream out to the other platforms. So that being said, guys, we got a special guest and I'm excited about this guest. So today we're talking about health and wellness, what every leader needs. So just a bit about my guest here. He is well known as Roderick Jefferson. He is the number one best-selling author and internationally recognized business-focused keynote speaker. Roger delivers proven strategies and insights that create world-class sales teams and repeatable results. And I love that part. Repeatable results. In his keynotes and workshop, he shares real world lessons, practical steps, and powerful stories that empower audiences to immediately put new ideas into action. So that being said, guys, I have known this gentleman for some time, actually for years, and we've reconnected. And so I'm excited to have him on board with us. So I'm going to allow him to share some more details about himself because this is going to be a good interview, guys. So again, welcome, Roderick.
Thank you so much, brother. It has been great to reconnect. To your point, we met years ago, and I am so glad that we were blessed enough to be reconnected and get back together. On my background, a little bit, I started out way back. I'm a speaker. I'm a natural storyteller. I remember when I was small, my mom used to say, "Boy, you need to quit talking or find somebody that's going to pay you to talk." Well, Mama, I found a few people that will pay me to talk. So I am now a professional keynote speaker as well as the CEO of Roderick Jefferson and Associates. We focus on helping small to medium-sized companies to really naturally and organically grow, whether it's new processes, new product releases, onboarding, continuing education, leadership coaching, and through both consulting as well as workshops. And then on the speaking side, everything from leveraging AI to drive productivity and profitability, all the way out to what I call stroke of success. And we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Absolutely, Roderick. Again, thank you, man. Now, in the time I've known this gentleman, and just as he was sharing his information, the word pivot comes to mind, and I think that's what we've all had to do at some point. We've all had to pivot, and definitely kudos to you, sir. I've seen
Thank
your
you.
website, and yeah, there's all that stuff that he just mentioned. He does all of that. So that being said, it's wonderful to have you on board, man. And so, with that being said, Roderick. We're talking about health and wellness, and you've got a really wonderful story, man. And that you reached out to me, and I was like, "Hey, come on, man, we need to have you on." So excited to have you here. So you got a great story. Before we get into your story, I want to say, "Hey, Annie over on LinkedIn, thank you for joining us, man. Yes, it is great to be here as well. Thank you for being a part of this conversation." So that being said, Roderick, tell us your story.
So my story was I spent the last 30 years in corporate America. I was with, some of the largest and most successful companies in the world, Siebel, eBay, HP, Oracle, Salesforce, Marketo, etc. And I'd gotten to the level of senior vice president. I had a large organization. I'm flying around the world on corporate jets, corporate helicopters. I'm living the life and I'm really loving it. I've got a family of my wife of 35 years. My children are adult as well. And so life could not have been better outwardly. The problem was inside there was a ticking time bomb. And I didn't realize it because I was so immersed in what I did, what my title was, what my salary looked like, what company I was working for, that who I was got lost in the shuffle of, excuse me, of what I did overtook who I was. So my entire identity became I'm a senior vice president. I work at this company. I do this. My team is this size. My organization looks like this. And so I was out 3.5 years ago, October 28th, as a matter of fact, 2021, in the middle of COVID. I was working with a company and I was about to go do a keynote at a sales kickoff. Traditional, nothing new about it, nothing unusual. It was literally just another Wednesday. We walked around the venue, checked out everything. We went to dinner. I went to bed like it was a regular Wednesday. But I woke up Thursday and it was like no other day in my life. I actually had a massive stroke while I was asleep. Heard us 98% of sleep stroke victims never wake up. I was
Oh,
blessed enough to be able to wake up. When I'm on the road, my wife and I every day get on a FaceTime and we sync because I was moving so much. Hey, what did I miss last night? What's going on? How are the kids? What's going on here, there, and the other? And my wife said, "You don't sound right, babe. Are you okay?" And
mm,
I said, "Yeah, why? What do you mean?" Because in my mind, I'm still hearing myself like you're hearing right now. And she said, "Stop for a second." And we were on FaceTime. She said, "I need you to answer some questions."
mm,
She said, "Say your ABCs." I'm like, come on. A, B, L, Q, X, W, P, M, Y. Count to 10. I said, really? 1, 2, 12, 57, 43, 8, 10. She said, "What's your middle name?" And I looked at her and I said, I don't know. She said, "Babe, you're having a stroke." Thankfully, I had some folks that were on my team with me at that event. She called them, they called 911. Next thing I know, I'm heading into the hospital. So I get in the hospital, and it turns out that my stroke was actually caused by something called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. If you're a basketball fan, you'll remember Reggie Lewis and Hank Gathers. They both died from it. I was an inch away from that. And so the normal heart squeezes at 60, 75%. What hypertrophic myopathy is, it's an excess layer of muscle. So I was a high level athlete. I literally got in too good of shape, is what happened. So I said 65 to 75% on average, the heart squeezes. I had no blockage, it just wasn't squeezing strong enough. And so when it gets down to 20% cardiac arrest hits, you're dead. Curtis, when they rolled me in, I was at 22% heart function. And I wish that was the worst of it. Instead, that was the day I was supposed to fly home. So they released me later in the day from the emergency room. I jump on a plane flying from LA back to Oakland, and everything went black while I was on the plane. I literally passed out. I don't remember the next 3 days, but what I do know is I made it out there. They got me out in a wheelchair, got me to my family. My family rushed me to the emergency room there locally. I woke up 3 days later, and the first thing I hear is, "You're a miracle because there's no reason medically you should be alive." Between cabin pressure, altitude, and being mid stroke,
mm,
most would have died. Like I said, 98% of people would not have made it. And so, again, it's COVID. So only my wife can come and visit me. And I still had to FaceTime with my kids, and they couldn't come into the hospital. And I remember I'd been there about 10 days. And suddenly lights start flashing and noises going on, and I'm hearing code blue, code blue. It's my room. So they had me on oxygen all day because I was having a hard time breathing. And so the nurses and the doctors come rushing in. And all of a sudden, I go from beep, 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 beep. I flatline. I'm dead, legally and technically dead. I did not leave the room. I didn't see a white light. But what happened was I floated up to the ceiling, and in the corner of the ceiling. I'm
mm,
looking down on my body, laying there in the bed. They're doing chest compressions. They're sucking fluids out of me. And I turn and I look to my left, It's my mama. I should mention, my mama died in 1999. And I said, okay, mama, good and faithful servant, I'm ready to go home. I've done everything I can. And she said, no,
Mm,
baby. I was sent to tell you that you have a new purpose. They're going to figure
mm,
this out and you're going back. We had a conversation back and forth. She said, this is your new purpose now. And what you have to go back and do are these, this, and this. I said, great. I got questions. I turned, Mama, where'd you go? Mama, now I'm
mm,
sucked back into my body and
mm,
my chest is killing me because they're still doing chest compressions. Now, bear in mind at this time, my entire left side is paralyzed. I can't speak. I can barely see. And now the next thing I hear, now I'm still flatline. It's kind of like when you go to the dentist and you get twilight. You can hear everything, but it's fuzzy and it's kind of muffled. That's how it was back in my body because I'm still flatlined at this time. And suddenly I hear the one word no one wants to hear: clear. I said, oh God, no, please don't let this happen. I do not want to get shocked. Well, as the doctor was coming down, he rubbed the paddles, he's coming down to zap me. I go from beep to beep, 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 and I grab his hand with my right side. Thank God, with my right hand. Thank God he's on my right side because my entire left side was paralyzed. Now, at that point, now they go into I'm back, stroke protocol, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, I realized a couple of things. One, we all say we're not guaranteed tomorrow. I know what it's like not to have it tomorrow. And does it change you? Oh, absolutely. It has changed me completely. I now follow my four F's. That is faith, family, friends, and fun. I also now have a new keynote that I call Stroke of Success.
mm,
And for me, that stroke of success is literally for people. I'm talking to people that are currently kind of navigating their journey through success, like I was, showing that persistence and determination and all of those things that it took to get up to. But the problem is, it gets really dangerous when there's no balance and self-care and mindfulness is out of
mm,
whack, which is where I was. It became that I'm the executive, and now I've gotten to that red line of stress that we all get to. Well, I got comfortable living there. The problem was it was killing me. I
mm.
had my stroke October 28, 2021. My doctor said, had I not had that stroke, I would have been dead before Thanksgiving.
Wow. Wow. Man, what a story, brother. You are absolutely quite the storyteller. I appreciate you,
Thank you.
your authenticity and just your sharing in that story here. I'm going to read you what Dr. Dennis says here over on LinkedIn. He says, "Wow, this just happened to me in the form of a mid heart attack. Thought I had a case of heartburn all day. Tried to go to sleep, and the pain in my chest intensified, and I experienced shortness of breath. Thank God my family was, excuse me. Thank God my family was present and noticed my rambling and took me to the hospital." And he says over here on LinkedIn, he says you are definitely a miracle, sir.
Thank you.
JD Stewart, thank you for joining. Appreciate you. He says thanks. JD Stewart says thanks for sharing. Lisa Greer, thank you for joining. She says, OMG, I feel like I'm being cautioned and inspired at the same time. Self care is paramount. Absolute. So Roderick, thank you for that story, brother. And
Absolutely.
there is a man. I got a lot of questions I want to ask you from that story, man. But my first,
Absolutely.
yeah, my first question is that as an executive and spending a good part of your life as an executive in high positions, what is the one thing that you would tell uh, not only leaders who are already there, but individuals who are seeking for these different positions within companies, just all over the world? What is the one thing that you would tell them, or few things you would tell them?
I got a few. That's a great question, first of all. And I always answer it this way. And that is, remember that you don't have vice presidents, you don't have directors, you don't have project or program managers on your team. You have people,
Mm,
and these people have lives. They're through difficulties. It could be highs, it could be lows. And I'm going to share now what my mom told me my purpose was. And that purpose is to go back and make the invisible people. That's people at hotels, people that park your car, people that are waiters and waitresses, to be seen. My job
Mm,
is to give them one smile every day that they would not have gotten without running into me. So our job is to make sure that we remember as executives that we're working with people. It's not titles, it's not roles and
mm,
responsibilities. That's one. The other is never allow what you do to overtake who you are. Because when that happens, you've lost. Corporate America is here to make a profit, not
mm.
friends. Had
Right.
I really died and not come back, Curtis, you know what would have happened?
Hmm.
They would have given a distribution check to my wife. They would have put some nice flowery things on social media. Then they would have opened another rec because they got to get back to work.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
remember,
Absolutely.
we are cogs there.
Mm,
And I would say the last piece is you will find 8 to 12 jobs in your life.
mm,
Your passion will find you, right? And so when that happens, you have to remember, and that has to, in order for that to really be your passion, there are two components. One, it can feed you and your family, and the second, and most importantly, is it's soul food as well.
mm. Yes, good stuff, brother. Good stuff. Good stuff. I want to say hi to a good friend of mine. I have not seen him or heard from him in years, and so this must be the time, such as reconnecting with you, Roderick, and also my good buddy Leon Henry over on LinkedIn. So, man, thank you for joining. Really appreciate that. Leon says, "Love this, Curtis." He gives it an A plus plus. Lisa Greer, thank you again. What were you? She says, "What were your four F's again?"
My 4 F's, Lisa,
Hmm.
are faith, family, friends, and fun. Now,
Mm,
especially that last one, because as we become more and more mature, grown, however you want to look at it, as adults, we tend to leave fun off the table. Oh,
mm,
I don't have time for this, and I don't have time to go out and do this. And I remember right before I had my stroke, my daughter, in her infinite wisdom, asked me a question. She said, Dad, you've been all over the world multiple times. You've helped
mm,
people. You've spoken here. You've done this. You've worked at these companies. What do you do just for you? And
mm.
what do you do for fun? I looked her in the face and I said, What is this fun you speak of, child? All right. Now, in hindsight, it may sound funny, but I truly at that point had no outlet for fun.
Right,
And so for me, if it's not fun, I'm not doing it. Now,
right.
that doesn't mean that I'm ha ha he he every day, but I actually start my day every single day the same way. Start with my meditation and my prayer. And then I come into my desk before I look at my email because that will drive you nuts. I put my top 3 things on my whiteboard that I'm going to do, non negotiable, that I'm not turning off my laptop until I do that. Now, here's the other part. I've also started to add one thing that I'm going to do just for me. If it
Mm,
means I'm going to go for a walk, if I'm going to go out to the park, if I'm going to go get me some tacos, whatever it may be,
right.
but there has to be one thing just for me on that list as well.
Absolutely. So my other question to you now is, ideally on my show, we talk a lot about authenticity as far as leadership. We talk a lot about spirituality, uh,
Bring it.
and yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. So my question to you is: in previous conversations, I talked about how people in general that we wear masks sometimes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
my question to you now: what has been your journey and removing that mask? Because I think that all of the hard work a lot of times and that we find ourselves just trying to replicate things and put in certain systems and things of that nature. Uh, I think it is a structure that comes from the systems, what society says we should be doing. So
Absolutely.
what has been your journey getting to that place of authenticity? Because what I'm hearing, and I love that how you're sharing this, I hear authenticity. So how did you get to that place, and what's been your journey, and what things did you have to lay down?
First of all, thank you for that because I was hoping this one was going to come up because if not, I'll bring it up. Um, that back to my stroke time, that changed everything. The problem was I had locked that corporate mask on so tight that you couldn't tell where the senior vice president ended and where I started.
Mm.
There's a couple of things that I've done that have changed significantly. First of all, I stripped it off, and I mean bare naked,
Mm.
where I'm not here to impress, I'm not here to try and inspire any of that. It's this is who I am. You don't have to guess. I don't, you've known me long enough. I don't insinuate, I don't infer. I do it with tact, right? That's one side. And the other side was I left corporate America
Mm.
and went back to my own consulting and keynote speaking because I realized that every day, and I didn't even notice it when I was there, but a piece of my soul was dying every day. I got to the point where literally Sunday night I would get physically ill getting ready for Monday morning of going back to work. And I said, there's more to life than just this. And so I had to say, what's more important? Do I stay alive or do I keep this, nice corporate salary with great benefits and I've got, hotel points and flight. None of that mattered if you're dead.
Mm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, what's been the change for you and your family now? So now that you've taken up this idea that you're doing things different, and again, it sounds like you're coming across more authentic now. What's been the change in your, even relating to your family? Because ideally, I would imagine that not only for the decision that you made, but it also affects how you relate to your family as well.
Oh, absolutely. There are two things. One, we don't do in the beginning of the year any, hey, here's what I'm going to do for the year, blah, blah, blah.
Mm.
No, we each have one word that we're going to implement throughout the year. And sometimes it's, mindfulness, sometimes it's patience, sometimes it's flourish, whatever it may be. Because I've realized that if you make those judgments in the beginning of the year, rarely do they stay. It's like all the people, I'm going to lose 40 pounds. Yeah, I went to the gym for 10 days, and guess what happened? I put on 10 more after
Mm.
I left, right?
Right, right.
The other thing is being present.
Mm.
And what that means in our family is at the table when we're eating, first of all, we eat together again. Secondly, when we're eating, no phones.
Mm.
The other piece is after 7 o'clock, kill it. Because now I want to spend time with them. And then I've committed to them. I don't want more. My life, I've been blessed. I want better. I want better relationships. I want better conversations. I want better time on the couch. I want better relationships and
Yeah.
connections. And that's the other
Mm.
thing. Social media had become an addiction for me, and I'm not even going to pretend like it didn't.
Mm.
I also had to realize that social media has made all of us less social.
Mm.
So I intentionally now will make breakfast meetings, not even meetings, get-togethers with some of my friends, with my circle. Hey, let's just go grab breakfast and sit down and talk. We don't need to FaceTime. That's great. We
Right.
can talk on the phone, but let's connect. And so it really led me to saying, I don't care about connections. I
Mm.
care about connecting
Right.
now.
Absolutely. 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 Now, have you had to have you had to put a plan together and just how how you're navigating all this? Because in most cases, a lot of us we have connections through social media,
Mhm.
and so have
No,
you had
I'm
to
still
kind of
on social media. I just don't live in it now.
gotcha, 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 gotcha. Now, and with the changes that you've had to make, what has been what has been your most rewarding find in this? Because I would imagine when we take off the blinders to a degree that there's a discovery on the end of this.
Mhm. There
So
is. There.
what has been your discovery?
And I know I quote my mom a lot. As we talk,
Hmm.
she
Hmm.
always
Hmm.
seems to come up. Mama used to say, faith is never tested in good times.
Hmm.
It's very easy to be faithful when everything's working well. It's when
Hmm.
the bottom's falling out. It's how am I going to pay my mortgage? It's how am I going to cover my kids that are in college? For me, it was how am I going to live? And so when I was down with my stroke, I had a lot of conversations with God,
Hmm.
and they went this way. God, thank you for allowing me to be a professional keynote speaker and giving me a phenomenal life,
Sure.
great salary. But I felt like that stroke was so I could shut up and learn how to listen better.
Hmm. Interesting.
Because I couldn't talk. I couldn't get a word out. When I did, I stuttered so bad I got frustrated
Hmm.
and I literally stopped talking for about 2 weeks straight. All I did was grunted and pointed.
Hmm.
And for what I realized was sometimes you just have to stop talking
Yeah, man.
and learn how to listen. And what I said was do whatever it is that is your will. Because if I lived, I was supposed to. If I died, okay, like I said, I know where I'm going. I was ready to go if that's what it took. I
Yeah.
didn't want to, but I was prepared to. And so you learn a lot about, man, you learn and you find out what faith is
Hmm.
when it's all you have to hold on to. And that's where I was because I was deathly ill. It wasn't, oh, the doctor's going to get me together. I take 16 pills a day
Wow.
to stay balanced.
Hmm.
And I'm okay with that now. I've got the routine down, but I'm not foolish enough to believe it's the doctors. I don't believe that it's the pills that's keeping me alive. It's
Hmm.
because God said it's time and there's still more that I need to do. And there are
Absolutely,
more
man.
people that I can impact.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's man, it's so powerful and refreshing to hear your story, Roderick, because I think ideally we can think that a lot of what we have planned, a lot of things that we're doing, that those things will absolutely come into, they'll either work or not work. And if they don't work, it's because we didn't work the plan just as we should have, or we could tweak it some kind of way. And a lot of times we talk about these kind of concepts here on the show as well. Again, spirituality, leadership, and so as far as your spirituality journey and your just your your time with God,
Mhm.
do you find yourself having to do you find yourself having to be intentional about spending time with God more so now than you were before?
No, no. Actually, I find it easier, to
Okay.
be honest, because
Okay.
I am reminded every day that I
Mm,
open my eyes. And I
mm,
say the same prayer every morning. Thank you for getting me through the night. Thank you
mm,
for allowing all of my internals to work. And may the world see more of you today and less of me than it's yesterday.
mm. That's good.
So I start the day off that way. So
Right.
I
Right.
know that from whence all things come, right? And
Mm,
so to me, it's as natural as breathing. Now,
mm.
let's not pretend like I've become a saint because I came back from that. I'm still human.
Right.
Like I
Right.
said, he ain't through with me yet.
Right. Right. Right.
Right? But at the same time, I know that I wouldn't be here if it weren't my time to still be here. Because when your ticket is punched, you don't get to negotiate. I don't care how
Come on
great of a
now.
negotiator you are. When
Come
that
on
ticket
now.
is punched, you know what? It's curtain. Cancel Christmas.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Now, question: how do you relay this information to young professionals or even seasoned professionals? Because naturally, just how people are. Uh, you told a powerful story. And even as you were telling your story, I just had chills that came across me, man. Especially when you kind of just went up and out of your body and hear your mother's talking to you. I just kind of had chills with that, man. So just a powerful story. So how do you relay that in your keynote, or do you relay that in your keynote, and
Oh,
and
oh,
just kind of
it's the center
circumvent
point.
certain things? And how do you?
No, no, it is the center point. I don't
Mm,
think I've ever told that story I told you and that there is a dry eye in the room.
mm,
Um, and that makes me feel good that I now have their attention to be able to share.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm very, very intentional when I'm talking. I say, you know what? 2% is not by accident,
yeah. Yes,
right?
sir.
I'm still here.
Yes, sir.
So there's clearly God has more for me to do.
Mhm.
And so my testimony is that not that I'm still here, but that I'm here and I'm still following to a T what my mom gave me as my purpose and my passion. People always want to know, was there a white light? Did you see God? Did you go on the other side? No, but what I did see was the most vibrant reds, blues, oranges,
Mm,
colors in that room where, remember, at that point, my eyes were so fuzzy I could barely see. So, although my sight had gone away, my vision was much clearer.
hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Hmm. Interesting. Another question for you. Now, your journey back to health, because you sound good, you look great. What
Thank
has that been like? Share some things
you.
with that in regards to that. Was there despair that you were going through, and just I don't want to do this. I don't want to do physical therapy, or what was your mind? What was going through your mind?
Frustration.
Mm,
Because again, as a high level athlete and as a functional
sure.
executive, I knew how to make my body do anything I wanted to.
Mm.
I did realize is just how far it is in my house from the couch to the bathroom. I'll tell you that
Right,
much.
right, right.
That much I figured out quickly. It was frustrating because again, I get paid to speak. And so the fact that I could not really get out really so for me, when I have that, I go back to old athlete. It's you versus it. You're not gonna win.
Mm,
It was not optional. When I got into speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, I became that old athlete and I said, oh, it's you
mm,
versus me. And only one of us is walking out of here. I'm voting on the tall black man right now. That's going to win this one. So what it became was a driver. And
mm,
then I have to say that without my tribe, as I call them, my inner circle that called, checked on me daily, every day, made me talk and verbalize when
mm,
I didn't want to. I had a cousin that used to call and we would do my speech therapy words over the phone, over FaceTime. She's like, no, no, no. You said tinch. That should have been tenth. Let's try it again. And
mm,
she pushed. And I was like, it was close enough, wasn't it? She was like, okay, was you coming back close enough? And I'm reminded. So it was the hardest fight that I've ever had in my life
mm.
of me versus that stroke. And I was just determined, like I said, one of those that losing was not an option, not at all.
Now, were you getting frustrated when people were correcting you?
No,
Did you find
no,
yourself getting frustrated?
I was embarrassed,
Okay,
not
gotcha,
frustrated. It
gotcha.
embarrassed me because remember, my entire living has been rooted in my ability to communicate and articulate. And when I
Gotcha.
couldn't, it was
Mm,
embarrassing to me. And that's part of why I stopped talking.
interesting. Okay, interesting. Now, how many? Oftentimes, when we're at the top of our game, and I've been following you on LinkedIn for quite some time now, and we've, as mentioned earlier, we've known each other for many years, and so I've
Absolutely.
seen and read a lot of your different posts. It's like, now this guy is doing some things and making some things happen here. So when you're at the top of that your game or at the pinnacle of what you're doing, oftentimes we have all kinds of people surrounded us, in regards to what we're doing, and they're perhaps even say, "Hey, I want to be just like this guy," so-called friends. So now, when you were at that space or in this place, once the stroke had happened, how many people left you?
It changed my definition of friend.
Mm,
You realize that, and it changed my definition of family.
sure, sure,
You realize that family is not just blood, that those can just be kinfolk.
absolutely,
I realized that family is a choice.
sure.
Friends are a choice. I
Mm,
have a group of folks that literally called and checked on me every single day. And if
mm,
you look onto my LinkedIn, you'll see every week I put out I'm grateful for this person. And it
Mm,
always ends the same way. This person reached out to me and communicated with me every day for months. And I mean, without fail, Sunday through Sunday, they checked on me. That spoke volumes to me. And I am
absolutely.
eternally thankful for those people.
Absolutely. I think a lot of times when people go through certain events in life, be it financial or even health, a lot of times we 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 check out. We
Yeah.
check out, and
It's
what I mean by that is that uh, kind of what you were saying moments ago, because we're not in that space mentally and physically like we used to. We find ourselves withdrawing from
yeah,
those people we were once connected with.
absolutely. I
Now,
was the one that sent birthday texts and sent Happy Father's Day and Happy
mhm,
Mother's Day. I'm not that guy now. I don't have the energy to
mhm,
do it. And to your point, there are a lot. I've got 16, 17,000 contacts
mhm.
on LinkedIn. I guarantee you 17,000 people would not have known if I died unless there was something that was posted.
Right, right,
So
right.
instead of me being more outgoing and far more connecting, I literally trimmed my circle down
Mhm.
because back to mama, when mama used to say, when people show you who they are, believe them.
Believe them. Absolutely, absolutely. Mhm. Now, uh, with that being said, yeah, that was great, man. That was great. That being said, what are you now choosing to believe over what you believed in the past? You know, that when you were going after certain things and that, I know you talked about essentially that it's deepened your faith, but I kind of want to hear more about that. I want to hear more about how it's deepened your faith and just a greater connection that you're making, or a deeper connection that you're making. Can you give some more insight on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Before I took a lot of things for granted.
Mm-hmm.
I can get up, I can walk, I can go here, I can move around. I'm always going to have a job. I'm always going to have
Mm-hmm.
money coming in. Admiration does not equate to love.
Mm-hmm.
What I had and still have broadly is admiration. What God showed me during that time by the people that stuck by me and the fact that I fought through this craziness, we'll say, showed his love for me because I didn't deserve
Mm-hmm.
anything. I didn't even feel like I'd earned anything. But what he said is, I'm his child. All I have to do is ask. And I
Mm-hmm.
did, and I believed, and I fought, and I used all the mindset, the tool set that he gave me to fight back
Mm-hmm.
so that I can go and have that testimony for others. And yep, yell it from the mountain of, I'm back, and
Mm-hmm.
here's why. And here's who got me back. That I will never, ever deny, will I ever forget, because without him, I'm not here.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting, Roger. Thank you for sharing that, man. Because I think with all the pressure in life, man, and the things that we're going through, uh, life can absolutely draw us out of society as a whole. It can draw us out away from certain beliefs. Going even back to when Eve was questioned by the serpent in regards to what she was to do and not to do. In Genesis chapter 3, verses I think it's verses 1 through 3 or of that some sort. And so he asked her questions. Now she's got this dialogue, and at some point he twists the information around. And because the information is twisted around, it's not the same thing that God said. And so she ends up being drawn out on erroneous information. And because she's drawn out of this place through erroneous information, she begins to see God differently, see the opportunities differently. see that perhaps that you need to put more work in. Kind of what the society tells us that we need to put more work in to achieve this. If you want to do this, you want to do this, you need 6 more years of school and so on
Mhm.
and so forth. So my question for you is that kind of like what you alluded to earlier is that we can take things for granted sometimes. We can take life for granted, people for granted. So have you found yourself having to uh, reconnect with people, or
No,
you,
no,
oh,
not at
okay,
all.
okay,
No. Again, I believe that it's like relationships. You're an ex for a reason. I don't write people off. I
hmm
just know that if I cut you off, it's because you handed me the scissors,
mm,
right? Or I've done something that required you to cut me off. I'm
mm,
not perfect either.
right, right,
And
right,
I will
right,
say this, and since we're talking on authenticity, this is as open and honest as I can be here. Throughout this process, I realized that while my relationship with God got stronger,
mm,
so did my disdain
yes, sir,
for
yes, sir,
organized religion. For
absolutely,
organized religion,
mm,
because to me that's man-made. That
absolutely,
is religion is based on the need for power, control,
mm,
manipulation, and financial gain for a small select folks. My relationship got stronger.
mm,
And like I said, I get older. My eyes are not as sharp as they used to be,
mm,
but my
mhm.
vision is so much better than it used to be. And
Absolutely,
that's why I
absolutely,
look at religion and go, no, it gives me the ick,
mm,
and I want nothing to do with it.
absolutely,
But my relationship, spirituality grew, my desire and my disdain for religion died.
mm. Yeah, that's good, sir. That's good. Absolutely. Over on LinkedIn, Bruce Shear says he says that he's late to the LinkedIn Live party. He says I'll definitely rewatch What a Story, Roderick. And so everyone is absolutely inspired by your story, Roderick. And Dr. Dennis here over on LinkedIn says that's good. And we've got several amens over on Facebook from Janice. So thank you, Janice. Lots of people are definitely chiming in with what you've shared, Roderick. And I want to say this because oftentimes I think as leaders, I definitely echo what you said, Roderick, in regards to religion. And so I don't do religion myself. I stopped doing religion a
Mhm.
long time ago, many years
Long
ago.
time.
Yeah,
Well, they say
absolutely.
long, long.
Yeah, long, absolutely. And because of that, I think you can because when we stop, sometimes we it allows us to hear. And I think to your point, Roderick, our vision clears up. You know, our vision gets better. And I'm not talking about the physical eyes, but that
Yes,
spiritual insight, vision, and knowing
absolutely.
it gets much better and much stronger. And because of that, we can um, we can serve God authentically, and that's what He wants. He wants that relationship, and we must remember that. And so part of this conversation is we're talking about health and wellness. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about health and wellness, what every leader needs to know. Roderick has been entertaining us, sharing his story. What a powerful story he's been sharing with us.
Thank you.
Looking at the time here and to want to be respectful of your time, Roderick, and because I know I like to go on, and my audience usually goes on for a lot longer, so I definitely want to respect your time, sir. So that being said, Roderick, is there anything else you want to share with us? A question that I didn't ask, or a question that others may typically ask, and you wanted to kind of shed some light on it?
Well, I would like to say this. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity and the platform to be able to share both my story as well as my recovery and as well as my faith and journey as well. I am releasing a new book. So, and it's called Stroke of Success. And so October 28th, which will be my 4-year stroke anniversary, by the way, that book will be released. And it's just about my stroke. It's really about, to your point, how do you take that mask off? How do you be authentic? How do you find self-care and mindfulness? How do you find a way to be present? And I'd like to believe that it is the culmination of what my mama said, and why I was sent back was to help others. So be on the lookout for that, because I'm about to open up pre-sale for it. And I want to do something for your listeners. If you will, and I'll allow you to pick the word, Brother Brooks, on what that will be. If you send over an email with that word, I will have, and you purchase the book, then I'll ask for just confirmation, and then I will have a specific bonus just for your listeners. How about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, guys. So you heard it. Roderick is going to give us an opportunity to purchase his book. But with that being said, just proof of receipt. That's what all you need. And he is going to throw in a extra bonus with that. So we got a comment. We got a comment here over on LinkedIn from my good buddy Kenny. Kenny says, such a beautiful and well articulated, eloquently stated, heartfelt show filled with nuggets of wisdom, information, inspiration, knowledge, encouragement, honesty, passion, empathy, guidance, and support. So, Kenny, thank you.
Thank you
Kenny,
so
appreciate you,
much.
man.
Thank you,
Always,
Kenny.
Kenny is joins us to support us. So, Kenny, thank you. So, you heard it from Mr. Roderick. Health and wellness keynote speaker. And so, Roger, I want to say thank you for being a part of our discussion here, and just
Oh,
remind
hold on before we go. We gotta pick a word. Actually, why don't we go with faith?
Faith. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Faith it is.
So, give to me the steps again in regards to what you just mentioned. In regards to, you
Sure.
said the purchase and
Again, so what'll happen is, shortly I will release on LinkedIn pre-launch. Once you purchase the book, I will give you the information of where to
okay,
send the confirmation of purchase, and then what I will do is provide you with a bonus at that point from me. You send over the receipt and just the word faith in the subject line, and with that, I'll run with it, and my team will run with it from there.
okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Again, Roderick, thank you so much, man, for being a part of what we're doing here and helping us build out our our show here over on LinkedIn and other platforms. So, again, thank you for being just your great story, man. As Kenny said, your heartfelt story,
Thank you.
man. And I my prayers is that every all others are blessed by that story, man, because it was just a powerful story.
Thank you.
So
Amen.
I'm glad that you are with us, still with us here, and so it's definitely a pleasure to seeing you. Pleasure seeing you again, and so we will say goodbye for now, and we will talk with you soon, Roderick. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right, guys, there you have it. We have had Roderick being a part of what we're doing here. He shared just a mighty and powerful story. And as I mentioned earlier, I've known Roderick for quite some time now. So I hope that you guys were blessed by the sharing of this story. And I just wanted to give Roderick full reign over here on the show here because
Thank you so
that's
much.
what I do for my guests on my show here. Give them full reign, let them know that they are, in fact,
All
the
right,
star of
guys,
the
there
show.
you have it. We have had Roderick being a part of what we're doing here. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. I am both honored and humbled.
All right. That being said, guys, we will talk with you later and we'll see you next time. Ciao for now. Bye bye.
Bye now.